Amy, I'm just going to fix my camera here and zoom out just a smidge. I hope everyone's doing well. So funny story, okay? Normally about this time in my YouTube videos, I'd be going, and this is the product, this is the card I'm going to be making for you today. Well, I was working on customer gifts earlier this morning, and I mailed the card that I'm making for you today. So I'm going to be making it fresh. Hopefully I remember how I made it. But it is sitting in my mailbox. So I'm going to be using this stamp set, and we're going to just kind of make it along the way. If you didn't catch it, it's on my blog today and over on Facebook, but I don't have a card to show you, unfortunately. Come on in, everyone. Hello. Hello, Karen and Amy. Dawn's here. Hello, everyone. Is everyone well today? Everyone having a happy Tuesday. Julie is here. Oh, don't worry. You can always catch the replay. No worries. Okay, so if you missed it, the card that I'm going to be making is sitting in my mailbox. I mailed it this afternoon or this morning. I was working on customer gifts. And so I'm just going to, you'll see the end result when I'm done, or you might have seen it over on my blog. But the card uses the Art in Bloom bundle, which is what I like to call a trio bundle. That's just kind of what I've dubbed it. And because it uses 3 different products, okay? And if you're familiar with the Merriest Moments, again, trio bundle from the mini catalog, it works the exact same way, okay? So you get a stamp set, you get dies, and you get an embossing folder, and they all coordinate and work together in this beautifully cohesive way. And you can either use them like each piece separately, use all 3 pieces together, use just 2. I mean, you can just do so much. If you're looking for versatility, if you're looking for a lot of bang for your buck, if you're looking for one bundle that can do just a ton of stuff, I highly recommend this, okay? Art in Bloom. Before I continue with the card, I will mention that tomorrow Stampin' Up! Is offering free shipping on any order of $50 or above. So this may be something that catches your eye, and I would highly recommend getting it. It's just a great product, okay? Again, normally I'd be like, this is the card we're making, but I don't have that to show. So we're just going to dive in, and I'm going to walk you through it, okay? My card base is Pool Party, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, right down the middle. Hold on, I forgot. Oh boy. Well, my bone folder is in my drawer somewhere. I don't know. It's well hidden. So I'm just going to use a block. Normally I would use my bone folder. We're going to use a block. So Pool Party, okay? Ahead of time, I took a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of Pool Party, and already did this ahead of time. I used the Bloom Hybrid embossing folder, again, part of that bundle, the big bundle, and I embossed it, and this is what you get, okay? And this is what I mean by you really can use the 3 components together. You can use some of the components together, or you can literally just use them by themselves. So this is a great embossing folder, a great image, really fun. You could emboss this in just basic white and color it in with your Stampin' Blends. You can leave it just like this, put a nice bow, a big chunky sentiment, and you're good to go. Like, you can do as little or as much with this bundle, and that's why I really like it, okay? I did emboss a separate panel. This is something I learned from Amy, because you'll notice that there is so much detail in this. I mean, it really just gets all sorts of depth, and I apologize. I forgot to shut my heater off, and it's turning on. So much different like depth. It's really, I mean, when it says it's 3D, it means it's 3D. So you want to do it on a separate panel and then just adhere it one over the other. Okay, so here we go. One over the other. Going to cover the entire card front like so. Oh my goodness, my heat. I totally forgot to shut my heat off. I'm sorry, guys. You're going to hear it in the background. Okay, next, let's start on our florals. So there's a trio of florals. Those are one stamp, and then these are all individual stamps, okay? So I have just a piece of basic white and the outline stamp. Oh, I forgot to turn these lights on. Let's get a little bit more light on the situation here. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to stamp them in rich raspberry ink. Let me get that out of the way. We don't need that right now. Give it a good ink. Oh, okay, good, Karen. That makes me feel so much better because my heater, my, what's that called? My furnace is literally like right there. I'm always worried that it's so loud. Okay, so you're going to notice in the embossing folder, it's kind of like trioed this way. It's like this, right? So that's how I'm going to want to try and stamp it. It'll make cutting it out a little easier if I can more or less keep in the same orientation of the embossing folder. Again, not completely needed, but it does kind of make it a little easier. If not, you're going to have to just trim your basic white down. No biggie. Okay, give it a good push. Oh boy, let's do that again. I knew that was going to happen. I have like a little bump in my, hold on, now I got to get another piece. In my desk here. Hold on. Oh boy. Hold on. Is that big enough? Nope, that's too small. Of course, I don't have another panel. So let me just cut a quick panel here quickly. Use that. Okay, let's try this again. If this doesn't work, I'm going to have to use my Stamparatus. Let's try this again. I'm going to stamp it. Try not to stamp it on that. I have a crack that runs under my desk right here. And I used to have, what's that thing? It was like squishy, like a mat. I used to have it, and then I think I accidentally threw it away after a class once because I haven't seen it since, and that was years ago. Okay, there we go. I missed a little bit of the corner there, but no big deal. Okay, so that is one solid stamp, okay? It connects. Then we have the 3 individual flowers, which they sort of stuck to one another, and they give an artistic look, okay? An artistic look. Let me get, hold on a second here. In an effort to conserve my grid paper, I'm just going to stamp off on a piece of copy paper. So this image will go with this one. Nope, excuse me. Goes with this one. And you're going to see that it doesn't perfectly line up. And it's meant to be that way. Now, for some of us, some people who might be watching, this is a struggle, right? But it's actually the look it's supposed to give, and it kind of really looks cool. I like it. And it's very forgiving, okay? It's very forgiving because it doesn't perfectly line up. If you don't perfectly get in the flower, well, it's artistic. It's meant to look like that. And you're noticing I'm stamping in rich raspberry, but I'm stamping off first so I get a lighter shade of the same color. This is a great way to kind of get more, again, more bang for your buck. You're using the same color, but a different shade of it. I know, Karen, I was thinking of you. So let me show you what I mean, that it's not completely inside the flower. So you'll see here, it didn't kind of make its way down around the edges. Down here too, it kind of missed it a little bit, and that's on purpose. So if you say, oh my goodness, I didn't line it up correctly, no, you did just fine, but it's the look it's supposed to give. Let's just also take a moment to look at this. This is so pretty. I've never noticed this before, but just like the stamped images, it's that distinctive stamped image. So it's got lots of like detail in it, like different, it's not like a solid stamp. It's got like these little variations in it. I love that. I feel like we could do something with that if it wasn't on copy paper. Okay, now this is where the brilliance comes in, okay? Trio bundle. So stamps we've used, embossing folder we've used, now we're going to use the dies. So you're going to open up your dies. Mine are kind of a hot mess because I've used them a ton already. But among the dies, can't pick anything up. There we go. Among the dies, I love this, like ticket. That's super fun. It does look like watercolor, Monica. Yes, agreed. Isn't that so pretty? I love that so much. I feel like I need to find something to do with that. Like do it on purpose and then use it on purpose. Among the dies is this trio of flowers that match. And in your embossing folder, you're going to notice Now I gotta remember which one it is. I think it's, no, it is this one. Is, you can put in, there we go, okay, the dies actually fit in the embossing folder. So you can know it's like in it. There's like a little dip outside the flowers that when you line them, the die correctly, you kind of have to just play with it until they sort of fall into place. And then they kind of sit there and it doesn't move. Like that's in there. That's not going anywhere. Okay. And then this will match. Now I said do it one way, but I did it wrong. I ended up having to trim it. Okay, so this will end up matching our stamped image. So what I'm going to do is then flip this over and then line up. My die is in there. See my die? It's sitting nicely. And I'm going to line up my stamped flowers with the embossing folder with the dies. Okay, see how it kind of lines it up, and I can move my paper around, my cardstock around until it kind of lines up and matches. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. Ah, and of course I move it. So then I'm going to just close it up, give it a sandwich. Oops, I moved my embossing plates around. And then I'm going to run it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Of course, you always want to go the folded side, the hinge side in first, okay? I'm going to just push this through. And the result is really, really quite cool. So, not only did it cut the flowers, but it also embossed them. So see, let's see if I can get, well, you can see the back. So see, it's embossed and I can feel the texture. So it's cut out and embossed in one fell swoop. Done. Now, again, you can use this in so many different ways. I could have stamped it and then embossed it and not cut them out. I could have just left them, where is my thing? I could have left them in the, well, now it's all disgusting because I chopped it up. But I could have left it, you know, solid and not cut it out. Just use the embossing folder to give the flower some depth. So lots and lots and lots of ways you can use this. It's similar, again, to the Merriest Moments bundle that we have in the mini catalog right now. And, oh, I can't remember and I don't have one in front of me. And there's a bundle in the upcoming January to June mini catalog that works the same way. It's a trio bundle, stamps, dies, embossing folder, okay? So this is what we're left with, our 3 flowers. And ahead of time, I used one of those dies and I cut out 2 leaves from Pear Pizzazz cardstock, okay? Now, you're gonna see my 3 flowers here. So this is what it would look like if I hadn't cut them out, right? It would, if I hadn't cut it out and I kept it on white embossing folder, it would look, why can't I get this? Why am I completely inept? There we go. It would look something like this, right? Okay, but I didn't like that the flowers were so spread out. I wanted, oh, thank goodness my thing just shut off. Thank you, Karen. Love and Happiness bundle. There you go. But I wanted them a little more clustered together. So I did that way. I clustered them more together. I don't remember my exact cluster again because I mailed my card sample. If you're just hopping on now, I don't have a card that I'm working off of because I put the sample card in the mail. It's sitting out there. One of my customers from November will receive the card. But I wanted them more clustered, kind of like this-ish. And then what I do a lot of times, this is a kind of a tip. I do this all the time, okay? I'm kind of playing with arrangement. Do I want the flowers like this? Maybe I want this one up here, right? I don't know. I'm kind of playing with it a little bit, or maybe I want them clustered down below. I don't know. I'm playing with it. I'll take my phone. I kind of set it up the way I want it, which I think I want it more like this, right? I don't know, something like that. And then I'm like, I wonder what that looks like. And I'll actually like take a picture of it with my card, with my phone. And I look it on my phone. It just gives me a different perspective, of how it looks, right? How it looks put together. And sometimes I'll like rearrange it and whatever, but it's kind of an, I don't know, I do it a lot. And then when I have it all together, I definitely take a picture because I want to make sure I put it back, like, as I'm adhering things down, I put it back the same way. Okay, so we're going to go with this arrangement more or less. I don't have my phone to be able to take a picture and try it out, but I think we're good. The sentiment, I'm going to use that long, where did I put it? I'm going to do it in a second, but just to show you where kind of placement, my sentiment's going to kind of run along the bottom here, which is fine. And leave everything kind of in its place and kind of pull things out and adhere them down. Do I want to use liquid glue? I think my liquid glue is almost out. Let's see if I have enough. I don't know if I do. Okay, so far so good. So a little flour, I'm going to tuck that in. Just doing the middle because I don't want to flatten it out too much. I really want the depth of the embossing folder did to kind of come through. Okay, there's that one. Slide that guy in there. And then this guy, actually, maybe we'll do the leaves first. I'm just doing the tips. But the good thing about liquid glue is it really doesn't take much at all to get these things to stay in place. It is like a permanent liquid glue. So just putting a little bit on the ends there and getting them to stick down will be good enough. I don't really have to go too crazy. And I'm just doing the little bits on the center. Okay, so far so good. I think more or less that was the card, give or take a little bit. I need another, we'll use this for the sentiment. Is that wide enough? Ooh, barely, but we're good. Okay, so the sentiment, I wanted a nice long sentiment, and I wanted a nice long birthday sentiment. So for my sample, I pulled in, again, I don't have it to show you, but on my blog, you'll see the Have a Perfect Birthday. That's the one I use from the Blessings of Home stamp set. But I think I'm going to pull in the Thanks for Making Me Happy, which is in the Art and Bloom stamp set itself. It's a nice long sentiment. I was really low after making so many Christmas cards. I was really hurting for like birthday cards and just kind of everyday cards. So I've been making a bunch of birthday, but I think I need a couple more thank you. So we're going to use the thank you sentiment. And again, I'm going to pull in the Rich Raspberry. Such a nice, fun, bright purple. And I'm going to stamp that. I don't know why, but that doesn't look straight. I'm going to stamp this. And if it's, I think the happy is up a smidge. Yeah, it is. Okay. So sometimes with our photopolymer, because we can kind of maneuver them and manipulate them, they can shift on us. So go away. I'm going to just lay it down and it's going to naturally straighten out. Don't stick to my finger. There we go. Okay, it's going to kind of naturally straighten itself out so that when I pick it up, there we go, I should be straight as opposed to me putting it on the block. I had a little smudge there. Let me just clean that off. Okay, let's try this again. So ink up the sentiment, Rich Raspberry. Yeah, this is much better. I can see it. See how the happy just goes, zoop, it went up there. Now we're good. Love a banner. I love banners. I use them all the time. If I don't use a banner die, I'm snipping things as a banner. I love banners so much. So love this big long one and it fits perfectly. So I'm going to come over to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, get my plates the way they should be to cooperate and just run that through. I'm trying to get it straight. That's a little tricky. If you ever hear your die machine do that, it's completely normal and fine. It's just cutting into the plate, which is why the plates are there. Now, here's the thing, okay? So there's a lot of action going on in the middle here. If I were to put dimensionals all the way along this, it would be literally like this or like more like that probably because it would be all propped up in the middle. So what I'm going to do, I think this one's a little different. I must have shifted a little bit right compared to my sample. That's okay. I'm going to take, let's see here. Let's take some minis and some regulars. And I'm going to double dimensional because this is pretty thick here. So even just doing one probably wouldn't be enough to like lift it up away from those flowers. So I'm going to double up my dimensionals because I really wanted to sit flat. So I just adhere two together, peel the one end, and adhere it down. I'm going to do another one right next to it because I think I have room to do another one like here. So I'm going to double it up. Just take two, stick them together, give it a good squeeze, pull the one off, and then stick it down. And then for the opposite side, I don't have a ton of space. I think I'm going to have to do 2 minis, and let's see how this works. For my sample card, again, which I don't have to show you, this must have been shifted a little bit more right because I could fit another normal sized one, regular size dimensional. These are a little trickier. They're so tiny. But I think we can make it work. Now, let me just test it. Where'd that backing go? It's got a life of its own. Okay, perfect. I kind of wanted to cover this seam here. I don't love that seam all that much, so we're going to just give it a nice little hideout. Peel our backings. Gosh, these backings have a life of their own, don't they, though? Okay, as I'm wrapping up here, I am going to do the inside of the card, but just a reminder, free shipping tomorrow on any order of $50 through Stampin' Up. That's a special that they're running. They let us know yesterday, which is very exciting. So that's going on tomorrow, okay? Make sure you get your $50 orders in, which will also get you a free $10 item from me. Here's the thing. It's a little to the right, but that's okay. It's our little secret. No one needs to know. I didn't do anything on my sample card, but maybe I'll add some rhinestones. Hold on, let me see if I can find them. Oh, there goes my heat again. It must be really cold. My heat keeps turning on. Let's add some rhinestones. I didn't add rhinestones to my sample, but I'll put one there. Maybe another one there. I want to. Sometimes they fall, so make sure you press them down. And whoops, get down. There we go. Okay, just a couple of rhinestones, 3 to be exact. For the inside, I have my piece of basic white, 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to stamp my flowers in the bottom right-hand corner again and just fill them again. These ones will be spread out because, well, I suppose you could cut up the flowers, but I don't really want to do that, but you could. But I'm going to leave them spread out. No big deal. Give it a good press. Hopefully that pressed well. Yeah, we're good enough. And let me see here. This is that one. That one, and then that one I think is this one. Let's see. Yep, I just need to nick the corner. And honestly, well, I'll use the other one. I'll use the one it's supposed to go with. We're gonna go just that. I don't know. Okay, and that's all we're gonna do for the inside. Thanks, Dawn. Appreciate it. Hope everyone's having a good afternoon so far. Whoops. Okay, so that's all I'm doing for the inside. I'm keeping it super simple. A little bit, again, bringing in those florals. Whoops. And having it match, but leaving it so I still have enough room to write a message if I'd like. And there we have it. So again, Art in Bloom bundle. It's a trio. It's a trio bundle. Trio bundle, stamp set, embossing folder, and dies, okay? And they all beautifully work together, coordinate together. You can use them separately or together, however you wish. So much you can do. Oh my goodness, the sky's the limit. This is an absolute must-have in my book, and I just think there's a lot you can do with it. So there you go. Tomorrow night, I'll be back on Facebook. Finally, I took a little bit of a break for a variety of reasons, but I will be back tomorrow night. I am going to be making a card that uses product from the upcoming celebration brochure. Free shipping starts tomorrow, $50 order. Head over to JamieB.com, JAIMIEB.com for all the details and all my links. Okay, that's it for today, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you back